Tonight on Smackdown Live AfterBuzz TV After Show, we got birthday cake, we have steamy hotel rooms, and we have our first candidate for Match of the Year. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Shane McMahon. As we're going to break down your supposed show that you're commissioner of live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Like and subscribe and tell your friends and your foes about the world of AfterBuzz TV. What's up, everybody? I am Christian Rosenberg. Tom is off this week. He will be back next week. Worry not, because Miss Gabby Loren is still here. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, it's just you and I this week.
It is
just the
you and
two
I.
of us.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just
Doesn't
the
go
two
as well
of
with this
us.
beat that's playing right now, but it
all
works.
good.
It's all good.
It still works.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Minus the fact that it is downpouring outside here in LA. Oh my goodness.
And
Oof.
anyone who doesn't live in LA is wondering, like, why are they going to complain about the weather? It's really
Yeah.
bad weather for LA right now.
It's so bad, and I feel so terrible for my puppy at home. Like, he won't go outside. When I did drag him out to go to the bathroom earlier, he like stepped in a huge puddle of mud and water, and then I had to give him a bath. And
And for those of you who
mess.
don't know, Gabby's dog is very tiny.
He's like 5 pounds.
Yeah. So a puddle's an ocean.
Yeah, he pretty much could have drowned in the puddle. That's how small he is.
Well, I was drowned in the action that we had tonight. That was a terrible segue. I
thought
tried.
it was pretty good.
I tried. Not all the segues are great, but I mean, SmackDown again, building up for the Rumble, and we got storylines that might not even have a match necessarily at the Rumble, but they're entertaining storylines that are keeping us going. And we're gonna get into a match. Everyone who's already watched SmackDown knows what match I'm gonna be talking about. We could really spend the entire show talking about that match if we chose to. But we start the show with Becky Lynch drives up, and Kayla immediately runs up to her asking, everyone's trying to know, are you ready for Asuka? And Becky's like, I'll answer that in the ring. She starts walking away, tosses her keys to Kayla. Kayla drops them. To be fair, that is not an easy thing to do. Throw keys that far distance and catch them. But Becky jokes is like saying, nice catch. I think they probably figured she wasn't going to catch it.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd probably drop it.
I also don't know if it would be the same effect if she did catch it.
Right. As she's walking by, we have the New Day and Heavy Machinery hanging out. New Day's got pancakes. Tucker and Otis are in the process of blending some pancakes, some eggs, and some tuna.
Ew.
And we have the classic exchange of Otis going, oh yeah, and Xavier going, oh no. Felt like it's the Kool-Aid guy. And Otis takes a sip. He loves it. Becky walks by. She grabs it. She takes a sip herself. New Day is grossed out by it. And Becky, just with a complete straight face, just be like, it's a little weak. And hands it back to Otis. And then she starts heading in the ring. We had Daniel Bryan with the concession stand last week to open the show. This week, we have Becky in the parking lot with this weird exchange with New.
Yes.
I'm liking the creativity
Behind
of how
the
the shows
stories.
are. Well, not just stories, but how the show itself is starting.
Yes.
It's not starting. We're starting right in the ring. Person coming out for a promo. That's that. It's like, oh, we're in a concession stand. We have this random exchange with people that have nothing to do with our storyline. It's interesting. It's different. And made Becky, in this case, look like the man, because all of a sudden she's towering over Heavy Machinery and the New Day because she just took a sip of that concoction and was like, nah, that's nothing.
Right. It's an interesting new way to establish who her character is.
Yeah. She goes then to the ring, and she's talking about how everyone's trying to be a badass ever since I broke through. But you want to talk about hype. Asuka walked into Mania completely unbeatable, undefeated. And after she lost, it shook her and she completely fell off the map. And everyone's asking me if I'm ready for her. Asuka then comes out, and Asuka saying, you like hype, you're buzz like a little bee, but with no sting. She didn't say it that articulate, but we understood what she said. And said that Becky will be in her shadow after the Rumble. Then they're interrupted by the Iconics, who come out and be like,
I love this.
this was great.
Oh my goodness.
They're like, Asuka, that's not how a champ should behave. Where's the class? Well, you think she's bad? How about Becky? She just treated Kayla like a valet. I love how they brought it back. That was great.
Tied it all in.
And then typical behavior for a man. As a man, that was hilarious. It really was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I can comment on that as much as you can because I'm not a man. Although I
Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news.
Although I do own a man T-shirt thanks to you guys.
Yes.
So
So Becky then calls out which one of you which one of your asses am I gonna kick? Ends up being Peyton Royce. We have Becky versus Peyton. Asuka sitting ringside watching a match. What I really like about this match is obviously they're putting over Becky like $1 million, how she's so dominant. But this was a long match, and they made Peyton look competitive in this match. This match went a good 15 minutes. And so it didn't make her look weak, didn't look like she was like, bowing to the man. She competed. Becky gets to win with a disarm her. And during the match, by the way, we scanned Lacey Evans with a cocktail watching the match in the back. You should not be in your ring gear and consuming alcohol because that is... you're putting your opponents in danger.
well, how do we know it wasn't a virgin, frozen
We don't know.
drink?
We don't know, but it wasn't a bottled water. It wasn't a soda. Well, she wouldn't drink a soda. She's a lady.
Could have been
She's
a
classy
virgin
lady.
pina colada. I don't know.
Yeah. After the match ends, Asuka immediately jumps in the ring, starts screaming a bunch in Japanese. Thankfully for the hand motion she gave, we kind of figured out what she wanted to do. She was pretty much telling Becky to sit down and let me take Billie Kay so I can show you how it's done. And then this match ended in under a minute. Asuka locking Billie Kay, and Asuka gets a win. And then Becky and Asuka have a stare down.
So I think when Asuka goes crazy and starts speaking in Japanese, that somebody needs to put like lower thirds or some translation at the bottom because I want to know what she's saying. I wish I understood.
Where was Funaki?
And if anybody out there actually does understand, I would love if you could comment or like let us know what is being said because it adds and feeds to the storyline. It kind of bothers me that I can't figure out what she's saying.
See, I kind of disagree. Because when all of a sudden, when she's so angry and she starts going Japanese and obviously talking much quicker because it's her native language, to me that intensifies her. Is like, oh, now we know when Asuka starts going nuts in Japanese, we know she's mad. So it's almost kind of separates it. So trying to talk English, be intimidating, but when she's pissed and she starts screaming Japanese, run. Because she's angry about something.
Well, I do love that we got to see her go against Billie Kay right after this match with Peyton and the man. For me, it was interesting because that wasn't announced, was it, before? Or was
No, none of this was
wasn't.
announced.
So it was like a
Yeah.
surprise, and I enjoyed that aspect of it because it was something that like threw us off. We weren't expecting it, but it was like a nice surprise and a great way to start the show.
Well, because the superstars are calling them matches because there is no one in charge that is doing anything on SmackDown. But yet SmackDown's doing just fine. So maybe we'll just let the superstars call the matches for now on.
Yeah. I mean, technically SmackDown would have been fine regardless because we've had such great stories and a great wrestling roster in general these last few months or so. So, I mean, regardless, Paige wasn't really holding it down, but yes, she was a good addition.
Yeah. And you know what I love seeing the additions of? Every week we see more and more people in our live chat.
Yes.
We see more and more people watching and subscribing on YouTube and iTunes and every platform you can name we're on. And we want to keep the show growing, keep getting it better for you, make it stronger, make it faster, make it more diabolical than it could possibly be.
Yes. And with that being said,
Yeah.
for our AfterBuzzers, besides our wrestling and sports channel, we have so many other shows on different platforms that our network produces for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to to serve our television fans. But we need your guys' help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels because, like I said, there is more than just the wrestling and sports.
So much stuff here.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. We very much so appreciate that. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional.
Yes.
It is not something that you have to be subjected to. And so make sure, you hit the subscribe button, especially if you're tuning in live, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well while you do that here. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll make sure to shout you out and thank you on air. But for now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us to be the ESPN of TV Talk.
AJ Styles shows up while Becky and Asuka are still in the ring.
Okay, that was a bad segue. Just saying.
I wasn't trying to make it a segue.
Come on, Christian.
They're not. I can only do so much, people. I only have so many segues each week.
You usually have great segues.
What has to build up? It's like in a wrestling video game.
Yeah.
You have your stamina, eventually wears down. You got to wait till it builds up a little bit for another segue. Just like the build-up that we're having for AJ and Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble.
There we go.
See, I let it build up a little bit.
There you go.
But AJ...
You've redeemed yourself.
But yeah, I just find it... they've done this every now and then where AJ, like, a wrestler walks out while another segment's kind of finishing up. So AJ kind of comes out, and Asuka and Becky just both give him this look of death. Just like, how dare you,
I was
sir?
going to say the same thing.
And then AJ just walks around the ring, then goes up through the crowd. We cut to commercial. We come back. AJ's up in the concession stand like Daniel Bryan was last week. And he's just talking about, you shouldn't put down the people. They pay their good hard-earned money to come here and enjoy themselves. So if they're here, if they want a hot dog, go and get yourself a hot dog. You want some soda? Have soda. Oh, you want merchandise? And he starts tossing merchandise, AJ merch, out to the crowd. Daniel Bryan shows up. They start brawling. AJ slams him through a table. Daniel Bryan gets covered in mustard and all other condiments. Security eventually pulls AJ away.
I like to see the juxtaposition between these two characters. So we got to see Daniel Bryan the week before at a concession stand with his whole spiel.
Yep.
And then this week we get to see AJ Styles and how friendly and good he is and what a baby face he is to the WWE roster. Just, praising, let them eat what they want. And if you want a hot dog, eat a hot dog. And then throwing out the merchandise to all his fans for free. I mean, come on, you guys. It's so funny to me that we get these two total opposites, and then they play off that in the storyline. And then to have Daniel Bryan come out and kind of do a beatdown after, I thought was great. It was a great way to keep it going.
Yeah, if I were to nitpick, because I love the segment, if I were to nitpick on anything, I wish at some point later on in the show, maybe Kayla or somebody. Kayla was very busy today. She was all over the place.
Oh yeah, she's doing great.
She's kicking ass. I
they
love
are
Kayla
using
Braxton
her so much. It is awesome.
I love Kayla. One day she'll marry me. But I wish they had like a little thing. They caught Daniel Bryan for like an interview, and he's just covered in the condiments, because this was the only time we saw AJ and Daniel Bryan throughout the entire show, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I felt like, okay, we could have got maybe just a little bit of his side of it and how angry he is that he's covered in these empty calories or whatever, that I was just being covered in grease. And how it's unsanitary, and he's gonna have to burn his skin because he just feels so bad. I don't know.
It's funny how they also knocked over all the condiments and everything spilled over. The whole top came off, and they were it's a food fight pretty much. Great.
From here, so this starts a series that goes in various segments throughout the show. But I think it would honestly be better if we just kind of talk about the entire sequence of it, since it starts here with the Usos.
Yes.
So we have...
I like your idea.
Before I start, I absolutely loved this whole segment thing.
Me too.
And so we start with an Usos photo shoot. They're showing off Royal Rumble merchandise. They're doing a little photo shoot. All of a sudden, random producer guy interrupts a photo shoot to give Jimmy a package. And they're like, mine and Naomi's anniversary is tomorrow. This might be a little early gift. He opens it up. There's a rose. Has Jay read the letter, which is just weird. First off, if you got a letter from your significant other for Valentine's Day or anniversary or whatever, would you immediately hand it to your sibling to read before you looked at it?
No, but twins do very weird things. Like, they feel as though they are one person, so I'm not surprised that they would do something like this.
So Jay reads the note, I've been a naughty girl and need you to lock me up in the Uso penitentiary. Love, Mandy. Not Naomi, but Mandy. And there's also a hotel key. Jay goes, what are you going to do, Us? Jim's like, I don't know. From there, a little later on in the show, we have Sonya Deville trying to talk sense into Mandy. She's like, I hate Naomi too, but this is weird. Like,
yeah, this is crazy.
Like, this is like, they're like married. This is not kosher. And Mandy goes, if there's any way I can make Naomi's life more miserable, why not? I want to break up their marriage. We then move on to Jimmy walking to the hotel room. Should he go in? Should he not? And of course, we cut the commercial. Come back. He decides to go in.
Well, before we get there, I just want to say, in this storyline, I was actually very nervous as to how this was all going to play out because we haven't really seen a relationship break up between a husband and a wife duo that are both WWE superstars recently.
Right, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. So I was
They've tried
a
to
little
tease
bit
it with
nervous.
Rusev and Lana, but that never worked.
And I'm like, did they do something behind the scenes to like create this storyline? Why is WWE treating them like this? Because Naomi and her man, are just such a good couple. They're a power couple together. And it would sadden me to see them break up on SmackDown. So I'm glad it went in the direction it went, which you're going to get to.
Yeah, so Jimmy goes in the hotel room. Mandy is sitting on a chair in the hotel room in a silk black robe. Don't be shy, Jimmy. Come in. The time to play hard to get is over.
Yeah.
Mandy then stands up, takes off the robe, and is wearing more clothing than she normally wears to the ring.
I have to say, Dan just came up with an amazing idea in the chat. He said they should have done twin magic and replaced Jimmy with Jay.
That's honestly 99% of the time, that's exactly what I thought it was Jay going into the hotel room.
They should have did that and then played it back like next week. Oh, actually, it was my brother. So, tricks on you.
Yeah, now he just has to have a talk with his wife, but who's
True.
not on TV.
But it wouldn't matter because you're not on TV. It's not as big of a deal.
But I just found it funny that like Mandy's trying to woo Jimmy. I know it's PG era. We're not going to have anything super risque. I'm not asking for anything super risque. I just find it funny that she reveals more clothing than what she normally wears to the ring.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what is she going to wear when she's already half naked when she's wrestling?
Yeah. And also,
But it was just more lingerie.
yeah, it was kind of like, more like tasteful lingerie. And Jimmy says, this needs to stop. Mandy says, oh, no, we can do this. And then a photographer runs out of the bathroom, takes a few photos of them, and runs out of the hotel room. Mandy's like, you think I wanted you? I despise your wife. She'll never be as hot as me. Now that I have these photos, it will destroy her life. Okay. Now that we have those photos, even though this is being filmed as we speak and being nationally televised, I have photos. Therefore, the photos will be different than what we're airing at this moment. She can't go back. Naomi doesn't believe in DVRs, apparently. She cannot go back and watch and see that Jimmy really hasn't done anything. He has gone to the room, but he hasn't put her hands on, they haven't kissed or anything like that. But the photos will incriminate him. Mm-hmm. I just found that hilarious. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy walks out of the room, opens the door. Naomi shows up. They brawl in the hotel room, fighting on the floor, fighting on the bed. Mandy eventually throws Naomi over the chair, runs out, and Naomi almost has a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Jimmy comes back in, checking on her, and Naomi's just, like, this ain't over. But I loved the progression of this story.
Yeah, I like how they finished it too.
Yes.
So clearly she was in the know. Jimmy confided in her, this is what's going on. Even though they made it seem like Jimmy was like nervous about walking into this room because he was doing something wrong, he clearly told Naomi where he was going so they could work together as a team to take down Mandy.
Right.
So in the end, I'm glad it worked out and they're not going to be breaking up as a couple as of right now. But it'd be nice to see if this storyline either goes into a match between the two or leads us
It's got to be a match.
or leads us into maybe Elimination Chamber, where there's these tag teams that we're going to get to later in our news, but there's a tag team belt on the line, and maybe it's Mandy and Sonya as a team, and then also Naomi with like somebody, I don't know, Asuka, I don't know. But then their storyline plays out in the ring because of the animosity these two have.
Oh, sure.
I would love to see that.
Eventually, Man is going to be aligned with some other guy. Who knows what that will lead to. Kayla backstage with Zelina and Andrade. Okay, this is the one part of the show where I am angry. I'm not going to rage because that's Tom's thing. I am so annoyed because apparently as of tonight, there's no more Andrade Cien Almas. It's
What?
just Andrade.
Why?
Because this is what they do to wrestlers with long names. They did it to Antonio Cesaro, they did it to Alexander Rusev, and now they're doing it to Andrade Cien Almas. They only tell them Andrade. On the graphic, it only said Andrade. The ring announcer announced him only as Andrade. The Titantron only said Andrade. Why are we getting rid of the rest of his damn name? What is the
makes me
purpose of
sad.
it? We'll call him Andrade when we're just kind of going through the match. I'd like to call him Almas, personally. I know my opinion doesn't matter, but...
Well, the whole point behind his character is like he's this really hot, like Latino man, and
CN stands for 100. I'm 100.
yeah, and like it goes with the character. So like to take that away from him and remove it is like I think it's like
It annoys me so much.
It's gonna take it down
It happens.
a level.
It happens at least once a year to somebody, and I just don't understand why. Why is it such a big deal that the name is a little longer, that it's not just one word?
somebody got lazy and either they don't want to announce it anymore, they don't want to do the lower thirds for it, and the graphics.
But it's all
Somebody
across
got
the board.
lazy.
It's all across the board. It's not just one person getting lazy.
Yeah, so they get lazy after a few months of doing the same thing, and then they're like, we don't want to work with this anymore. It's easier to say Andrade.
I mean, for all we know, soon Zelina Vega is just going to be Zelina, and I don't want that. Her name is Zelina Vega.
It makes them like that, it gives them that Latin flair. How can you remove that? Like, Cien is a Spanish word. Vega is totally Spanish. Like, why would we take that away from their character? I think it's ridiculous.
I'm just waiting for Samoa Joe to just be known as Samoa.
No.
Not Joe, just Samoa.
But then everybody's a Samoan. It's not.
That was a joke.
I know it's a joke, but I'm saying because there's probably someone out there that agrees with what you just said. And I don't think that it makes a character unique.
And chat rules bring him. Yes, last year was Apollo Crews. How he's Apollo. Because last year it was Apollo Crews and they changed it and then he goes by Apollo. That's not even a long name. So it makes no sense to me. The promo was fine. Andrade actually got to talk a little bit, saying how Rey was my idol, but I showed him last week how times have changed. I'm now the future. And Zelina talks about how they're going to win and then win the Royal Rumble. Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
Well,
Great match.
Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali?
Like Mustafa Ali's match. Yes. I think it was amazing.
Do you? Because there was no match.
Well, I just loved how, like, he got...
The match didn't happen. There was no match.
It excited me, I will say, with what was going on, because he was getting thrown... Mustafa Ali was getting thrown around by Samoa Joe.
Yes, he was.
And there were moments where I swear, like, he had a concussion.
Oh, he died tonight.
But did he have a concussion? Because his head slammed the mat so many times.
Sorry,
that you would've thought
Char
so.
also brought up Big E Langston was also one, and now it's Big E. But keep going. See, it keeps happening. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I just felt like whatever was going on, match or no match, these two just fighting in the ring and out of the ring, it was very interesting. And I just think Mustafa Ali is so talented. We've said this before. And the way that he was just like tackling those moves and his Samoa Joe going after him.
As
and
far
the
as
way,
the ring post.
Yeah, the ring post getting thrown outside of the ring where he literally looked like I said he had a concussion because his head hit the mat so many times first. And he just sells everything. He sells it so well.
He does. But yeah, it was interesting because we kind of talked about it last week thinking that we were going to start a Joe Mustafa Ali feud. Well, obviously, something's starting because the match doesn't happen. Joe just beats the living hell out of him. And the ring posts, when he threw him into them, those might have been like the hardest ring post hits I have ever seen. Like his head got wrapped around the post twice, and Joe just kept beating them down. It was great. We had Rey Mysterio just as he's heading to the ring. We passed when Samoa Joe was walking to the ring for that match. He walked by EC3 posing in front of a mirror. Rey's walking in the ring. All of a sudden, Nikki Cross is hanging behind a fence, asking Rey, I'll play with you. Let me out and play. I want to play. And Rey is just like, what the hell's going on?
That was fun.
Yeah. The one question I have that I find very interesting, so on Raw and SmackDown, and by the way, why are these NXT people getting the privilege of being on both shows for them to decide which show they get to go to? Why does this crop of NXT people have that while the others just, oh, no, you're on Raw, you're on SmackDown?
Maybe they're still trying to figure out where they're going to be placed.
Well, apparently they're trying to figure out if they're doing anything with Lars Sullivan because he was nowhere to be seen on Raw or SmackDown. The rest of them appeared, but Lars nowhere to be seen. Are they trying to build him up separately now? Or is something else up? I know there are various rumors. People have tweeted me different things. I'll believe it when WWE or Lars or someone posts it.
What do you believe?
I believe that they're going to build him up separately. And he'll actually debut at the Rumble and eliminate 8 people.
Interesting. That would be fun.
Samoa Joe, quick promo saying that what he did to Ali was a statement, and he was going to treat the other 29 men like I treated Mustafa Ali. Okay, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. I'm using his damn full name. I don't care what anyone says. It's only January 15th, but this might be our match of 2019. We could go the entire show talking about how amazing this match was. Corey Graves, I feel like Corey Graves went to commentating heaven in this match.
Wow.
Because he was so into this match. And you felt the fan, because all these people are fans that when they actually work the shows, and you felt the fan in Corey Graves during this match. And I feel like that brought the match as great as it was, it made it that much better because they were having just as much fun watching and calling a match as the fans were cheering it on. Rey and Andrade built this up like a big marquee match. They started very slow, measuring each other up.
Yeah.
Just kind of doing a little bit of chain wrestling at first, countering each other, getting, you're this close to the Hammerlock DDT, you're this close to the 619. And then we go to just super bizarre moves. Rey climbs to the top rope, gives a Hurricanrana on the outside while Andrade's standing on the apron and delivers the Hurricanrana. If Andrade slipped on the apron, Rey would have broke his neck.
Ugh.
That's how dangerous, I don't think people realize how dangerous where they were standing, the move. You watch the replay, half of Andrade's foot is off of the apron when this move happens. It's just insane. Then we have Rey climbs up the ropes onto the ring post and does his jumping, not drop a dime, but it's jumping sit-down splash to the outside of the ring. Nobody realized that's a good 10 to 12 foot drop from where they were. Rey Mysterio busts out a code red, which we haven't seen in a while. Then hits the Canadian Destroyer again, this time from a power bomb position and a crucifix bomb. How did we get 2019 Andrade Cien Almas versus 1997 Rey Mysterio? How did this happen? This was unfreaking real. Zelina eventually distracts the referee while Rey it's the 619. That brief moment of Rey looking at the ref and Zelina, Andrade knocks him on the top rope, hits the hammerlock DDT. While Rey is hanging from the top, Andrade gets the win. Give these guys the Slammy Award for Best Match now. I'm done with 2019. Good night, everybody.
Well, not only was this our favorite match, I think, of the night, but all of the people in that arena simply loved it. I mean, they were chanting, "This is awesome." We saw some amazing athleticism tonight, and these two wrestlers really know how to work together. I think that if we didn't have Shane's birthday tonight, it would have actually been the main event of SmackDown. This would have main evented. This would have been the last match.
Well, because so their first match that they had in 2018. I mean, it was in my top 3 best matches of the year last year, and we teased last week how they worked so well together when they had the tag match. That one was nowhere near like any of the main events. This one was kind of like the hour 1 main event, and then yeah, I mean, this is just building up. Whether it's gonna be main event SmackDown, a huge marquee match at a pay-per-view. Let these guys wrestle all the freaking time. Like this is one of those type of pairings where it's just gold. These two are just magical together.
And they each have their strengths that are very different.
Yes.
But they know how to come together and make it work.
Yes.
Love it.
And hopefully Andrade can have his full name back. But then speaking of birthdays, it's Shane McMahon's birthday. The ring is all decorated. We have multiple cakes because Shane can't choose between chocolate and vanilla. Miz reached out to his favorite baker and got one of each.
It's making me hungry.
One of them had Shane's logo on it. The other had a photo of Shane and the Miz on it.
Yeah.
He's got balloons. He's got presents. They have the Best in the World trophy. Miz gives Shane a present. It's a brand new pair of the Jordan 33s, which look very nice. And then Miz gives a video tribute to Shane. Nice video tribute. I need to know, chat roll, tell me who wrote that song that was on the Shane McMahon tribute video, because the chorus was going, "I was born for this," and it's just like, oh my god, that's just so perfect for a Shane McMahon like hype video. The song I was born for this. It was great. Shane then almost gets like a little emotional. Like we almost feel like something opens up because he's like, I gotta reveal something. When I was young, my dream was to be a tag team champion. Now, granted, my first choice when I was a kid was a team with Andre the Giant, but I'm honored and thankful that I'm going to be teaming with you, and let's win the tag team championship at the Royal Rumble. Shane has completely turned around and has sided with Miz. They kind of embrace. Miz leads the crowd and singing happy birthday, and they're interrupted by Sheamus and Cesaro. And they make fun of the fact that, oh, you didn't invite Vince. That's because Vince wouldn't want to come to your birthday. Shane then makes Miz versus Sheamus because, by the way, even though Shane is only hanging out competing and going for the tag titles, he's technically in charge, so he can make a match. He makes Miz versus Sheamus right then. Miz is like, well, I'm in a suit right now. And Shane just busy hypes him up. Was like, I wasn't in gear when I won the Best in the World. You can do that. You're the Miz. You're the A-lister. You're 2/3 of the Best in the World. You're a former champion. You can do that. Hypes Miz up. We have the match. Miz working the match as a babyface, which we have not seen in years. Towards the end of the match, Cesaro trying to get involved. Shane hops in the apron, knocks Cesaro off the apron, through a table, through one of the cakes. And then this distracts Sheamus. Miz rolls Sheamus up, gets the win. After the match, Sheamus tries to attack Miz. Shane helps him. They beat down Sheamus. We have a coast to cake as Miz holds another part of the cake in front of Sheamus' face. Shane goes coast to coast. Shane and Miz celebrate as SmackDown goes off the air.
This was a fun segment.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked it. It's cool to see Shane and Miz having this moment together. However, I want to know, was the Jordan gift like a shameless promo?
No, Shane constantly is wearing Jordans.
Right, but I mean, they really went out of their way to like talk about the Jordans on air.
Well, more WWE superstars have been doing more things with shoes. Like Liv Morgan, does stuff with Champ Sports like every week before Raw.
Yeah.
So it's
Probably have some
becoming more and more
brand
of a fashion thing. You know, I don't know, maybe almost kind of like a Christian's Closet thing because they just love the segment so much that they take after it and start showing off their own fashion.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, they've stolen other things from me. Why not? Why not, guys? Yeah, sorry, there was no real Christian's Closet this week though.
I mean, it could have been Mandy in her laundry.
It could have been Mandy, but that was kind of last week. I mean, Shane, he just held up a pair of shoes. Mysterio had an interesting mask. I guess that would have been it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, no World Christian Causes this week. Sorry, but don't worry, because we do have Wrestling Wrap.
Yes.
Because major story that that broke last night on Raw that we need to talk about.
Yes. So, we officially have a women's tag team championship belt premiering at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in February. It will be a chamber match, 3 tag teams from Raw and 3 from SmackDown. So, what do we think about this new belt for the women's division?
First off, the title looks very unique because they don't look like anything like any of the other titles. I would have thought they would have tried to make them look similar to the men's tag team titles, but I think because so many people hate the way the tag titles look, the SmackDown ones look much better than the Raw ones. But I think they were just like, no, we're just going to do a whole new design altogether.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like it's from a different promotion.
Yeah, it really does. It's like, what titles are these? The thing that I find most interesting is, so we're going to have an interpromotional Raw and SmackDown match, because, you know, we all remember Survivor Series. That's the one day of the year where Raw takes on SmackDown, except the Royal Rumble, except Money in the Bank, and now in this case, except the Elimination Chamber. And so, whoever wins this match, do they get to wrestle on both shows, or do the tag titles just stay on that one show? That's my question.
I feel like it will transfer to different pay-per-views, and like it will only be utilized on a different pay-per-view.
Right, so which means then, okay, so let's just say a Raw team wins it. That means then, at the pay-per-view, they can possibly defend it against a SmackDown team.
Yeah.
So they can cross brands then.
I think they will. Yeah.
It's just interesting how if that title can cross brands and none of the others can.
Unless on, a Raw or SmackDown episode, on a random week, they decide to throw in a crazy storyline where somebody from the other roster shows up to challenge. 2 people would have to, obviously, to challenge the tag team champions.
Yeah, I just don't want them intertwining stuff because then we're going to have, just kind of a giant schmoz like we had with the end of the last brand split where a bunch of SmackDown guys, SmackDown champions would be on Raw every week, Raw champions would be on SmackDown every week. It made the titles irrelevant. So I'm just worried about that. I want these tag titles. It's long overdue. I just want to make sure they do it correctly and properly. And not have the intertwining things. Like, if they have to stick on one show, and then if the other brand decides, we're just going to make our own, whatever. Now the question is, who are the teams going to be? I have my guesses. I'm pretty much very confident in 5 of the 6 teams. I don't know if you had any guesses or you just want me to come out with mine.
You can just come out with yours because I'm not even sure yet.
Okay.
I think.
So I think Raw is pretty much as clear as day. Raw's going to be Sasha and Bayley, Riot Squad, and Nia and Tamina.
Makes sense.
Those are going to be the 3 teams from Raw. SmackDown.
Mandy and Sonya.
Peyton and Billy.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
And based on what they're teasing, and you kind of hinted at it.
Naomi
and Carmella.
Okay, yeah. I can
because now all of a sudden there's a lot of hype going with a few with Naomi, or with Carmella and Sonya. They went on a Twitter war over this last week. They had their match promoted for tonight. Match didn't happen. You know what happened a few weeks ago? Mandy and Naomi were going nuts on Twitter back and forth. Match was announced. Match didn't happen. They can build that up. You give Mandy her singles feud with Naomi. You have Sonya her singles feud with Carmella. Carmella and Naomi like to dance. It makes sense. They all join forces, and that's going to be your tag team chamber match.
I like it.
I'm glad you like it. I want to know in the chat roll and on various comments on YouTube, iTunes, and Twitter.
Think?
What do you think? Do you agree with me? Different type of team. Obviously, there's like Ronda and Natty, but if Ronda's the women's champion, do they do that? Becky and Charlotte, do they make them try to work together?
I don't think so.
So many options. So many.
All right, well, next up in Wrestling Wrap, Zelina Vega is going more public with her relationship. She's been rocking her wedding ring on SmackDown Live lately and has posted videos to her Instagram with Aleister Black. Why do you think she was so private about her relationship, and in the more recent weeks and months, I guess, has now decided to be more open?
I mean, I think it's really a matter of you want to keep your personal life personal.
You're both WWE superstars.
Right, but I personally had no idea they were even dating until they got married.
I mean, who else is really dating in secret? I know, like, Kathy Kelly was with...
With who?
Oh my God, why am I mind blanking?
I know who
Our
you're talking about.
Irish wrestler. Come on.
Oh my God, Gabby.
Why is it coming out?
Did you just...
Finn Balor.
Our Irish, just...
Why is it like... I'm sorry, you guys, it's late.
So she's dating
Finn
Sheamus,
Balor.
is what you're saying.
No, there's a few Irish wrestlers.
I know, that's why I'm laughing at that.
But that was, like, so secretive, and, I mean, how many other relationships are really that secretive in WWE?
I mean, Sasha's relationship with her husband was very secretive until she actually revealed it on a podcast with Lillian Garcia.
But, I mean, like, right now, what is secretive?
Well, I mean, that was, like, less than a year ago. So, I mean, this...
It's already come out, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't
Give me another one.
Okay. Well, I don't know who Mandy's dating right now.
What if she's single and not dating anybody?
That's possible. I mean, they just posted a video of Sarah Logan's wedding with Ro from the War Raiders.
Yeah. And some people have boyfriends that aren't even in WWE, so that could be Mandy's situation too.
Yeah. So I mean, but the fact that now it's become more public, that's why I feel like she's more comfortable now showing. She's not showing stuff of them, like holding hands or like in any type of romantic settings or anything like that. She has videos of her like boxing training with Aleister being being her trainer, and then like on Up Down they did a thing with Xavier happened to be walking down the streets of I don't remember where in the UK with Aleister and Zelina. It was just the three of them there. So like drop like little like subtle hints, but nothing full-fledged on it. And that's fine. You should keep your personal life personal. Once it becomes somewhat public, you can acknowledge it. You can wear the ring. You're not going on and on being like, I love my client Andrade almost as much as I love my husband Aleister Black. That's not going to happen. She's not going to say that. I just wonder
why like she's even wearing a wedding ring while wrestling. Like that to me is a really bad idea, and that ring looks super expensive.
Some people do it.
I know they do, but I mean, for men, it's a little bit different. I feel like that thing's not moving.
Or they wear something that like covers it, or they wear something in place of the ring.
Like a silicone ring in replacement. But I mean, she's wearing a full-out like engagement ring and wedding band.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat because now they're just picking all different random Irish wrestlers.
That's so funny.
Yeah, anyways. No, Kathy was not dating Fit Finlay, guys. She was.
That's funny. That's so funny.
I love our chat roll so much.
We might be breaking news to some people who weren't even aware, but it's fine.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows what people keep up with. All right, so my last story of the day is Kevin Owens is rocking a new tattoo and also a hot new bod. Okay. The superstar has lost some weight thanks to his wife Karina for posting the Insta pic. Christian, I know you've checked it out.
Are we on TMZ right now? What? The hot new bod. He has, in like recent photos, lost looks like a significant amount of weight.
Yeah.
And we kind of teased this last week, and now I think it's pretty much set in stone. Kevin Owens coming back for that Intercontinental title. Who just won on Raw? Bobby Lashley. Who was the one storyline-wise to take Kevin Owens out of commission? Bobby Lashley. Now he has the title. This is all built, set for Kevin Owens' return to immediately come back as a babyface and feud with Lashley.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if we get a new and improved version of Kevin Owens, and when he debuts, like this weight loss thing is because of a new character that he's coming on to WWE.
I don't think the weight loss will have to do with the character.
Maybe.
That's a weird way to promote a character.
As in storyline, like, I took this time off for myself and I'm a new man. Kind of like how Daniel Bryan, when his time was off from his injuries.
Is he then going to hold up a pair of pants and be like, I used to wear these, now I wear these?
It's more of like I'm a different person type of vibe. Not like, I've lost weight and now I'm... Like, it's not like surface level. It's more of a deeper thing. Okay. And he kind of delves into a story of, I am not the old Kevin Owens. This is the new Kevin Owens. and then they work on that and to build on that and develop it.
Hey, I'm excited. I mean, it seems like because he is tweeting more often now. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to him coming back. He's either come back at the Rumble, pay-per-view, or that Raw after the Rumble. He is back, and he's going to be feuding with Lashley, and I'm okay with that, people. I am okay with that. And we're not just okay, we're delighted that you stuck around and watched this video. What's on the chat roll now?
Dylan Matthews goes, Kevin Owens with abs. Gabby will be on cloud 9. Oh, you are right.
Is that all he's missing? Is that all he's missing?
Yeah, I mean, he's not missing too much, but I would be very happy with some abs.
Okay.
That'd be great.
You hear that, Kevin? Got just maybe lose just a little more, and Gabby will be on cloud 9. She's on cloud 8.
I'm on cloud 8. I just need one more cloud to get to cloud 9.
Got one more cloud. We want to know what you guys think of everything that we've discussed. Tell us on YouTube. Tell us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and of course, talk to us on various forms of social media. Gabby, how can people reach out to you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Gabby Loren TV. And this Thursday, I will be again co-hosting Shein on the Shein app. That's SHEIN. And guess what? Women of Wrestling debuts January 18th, this Friday, on Access TV right after New Japan Pro Wrestling. So you guys should definitely tune in because it's going to be epic. The first women's all wrestling show. It's cool.
And follow me on Twitter at Will Rosenberg, Instagram, The Will Rosenberg, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg, CollarandElbowBrand.com. You like the shirt I'm wearing? You can get it on that site. And if you use promo code Rosenberg, you'll save yourself 10%. They have a bunch of different specials that go on. Use that promo code, save another 10% on top of it. Also, Sunday, January 20th in Victorville, Alpha Mega Wrestling presents Unleashed. That is our biggest show of the year, and it's that's the show that I am the owner of. And of course, January 25th, Wrestling Pro Wrestling is back in Burbank, California, not in the local area. That's okay. You can watch it on twitch.tv/Wrestling Pro Wrestling. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Gabby Loren, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.